If you're not a runner or you hate the thought of even going for a run, then this video is definitely for you. Now, I hate running too, and that's a point I feel like I should point out before you think like I'm trying to convert you. But that's precisely the point why I do it, pushing myself out of that comfort zone, because there is no feeling of satisfaction or pride at the end of completing a particular long race than doing something that has been uncomfortable for hours. The mental resilience you gain from doing something like that is unparalleled. But anyway, on to the video of how I can get you from being a couch potato currently to a park run finisher without doing anything extreme. Now, the first things first is you need to do a test. You set aside that 30 minutes and there's no plan or interval training in this initial test. It is purely just run, then walk, and keep repeating until that 30 minutes is done. Looking at just how much distance you can cover in that 30 minutes. No number is too bad. It is purely a starting point. Once that distance is established, you then set the plan in place afterwards. Committing to 2 days per week as a minimum is what's going to be required to get you that result. Both of these runs are going to operate very similar to that test, where they're going to be 30 minutes in length, but you're going to be trying to add 50 meters per time to add to the overall distance. If in your first ever run, the testing run, you cover 2.9 kilometers. In your second run, the first of the actual training program, you're going to look to cover 2.95 kilometers. That's an additional 50 meters onto the run. Nothing is going to be too extreme. Going into your third run, the second of this training week, 3 kilometers, another 50 meters added. Now, if you got this, you could do this on a Tuesday and a Thursday. It's all set in place before you even step foot outside. Now, what I want you to think about on this regular route that you're going on is looking at landmarks and particular times that you're reaching these landmarks. This could be a bus stop, a particular friend or family's house, a shop, absolutely anything. But this is going to give you more landmarks and stops along the way for you to reach by a certain point, actually giving you that little bit of an edge to speed up as you're going. Each run you're aiming to get there a few seconds earlier, but that accumulatively over the 5 kilometers when you build up to it is going to knock off minutes. Now, that's the first week done, and you've added 100 meters already. Now, you could keep repeating this cycle and add 100 meters per week. It's just going to take a little bit longer, or you could just add 200 and go slightly over your 30-minute time allocation. Whichever method you decide to go for, once you get to 3.5 kilometer on whatever amount of runs that it's taken to get there, we're going to switch it up. You're going to start increasing the amount of time that you are going out for a run for. Now you've built the distance up from 2.9 to 3.5 kilometers in and around 30 minutes. You're going to now do a second round of testing. You're going to go out for a 35-minute run. Again, little bits of walking, little bits of running, whatever you found your schedule working at right now. And you're retesting. So you're going to see what distance you can get done in that 35 minutes. Let's say you've got 4.1 kilometers within that 35-minute window. What you're now going to do is implement the same process that you've just been doing to get from 2.9 to 3.5. You're going to be adding 50 meters point for each run. Building that up over the coming runs and the coming weeks, you're going to start adding distance. If you get to a bit of a plateau or a sticking point where you're not seeing that distance increasing, then just add a couple more minutes onto there, and then you can look at trying to claw some of those seconds back from the landmarks that I mentioned earlier. This is why generic plans don't tend to work very well for people, because it will just tell you to do one thing at one distance or one speed or one duration of time. That might not fit around your circumstances. You might be struggling to break through a plateau to reach any more than 4.2 kilometers distance. You allow an extra couple of minutes, you're going to get that distance. You can then claw back those seconds. Once you do eventually build up that distance and you reach 4.5 kilometers, that's when it's a park run time. Regardless of what time it's taking you to do it, park runs are fantastic for beginners. They're an initiative that is superb in getting people introduction into fitness and running that length of distance, because the support you get from the volunteers, the other runners, is second to none. That will encourage you to add that little bit of extra distance, probably knock a few seconds off your time as well, because you'll get a little bit of a competitive edge against like-minded runners, and it'll leave you with a big, red-faced, sweaty grin once you cross that finish line. Now, here's a little bonus tip for running. Now, I don't tend to listen to music, because I found when I was listening to music whilst running, I was either miming the song or I was trying to sing along to it, and that will then put my breathing out of sync and I'll be out of breath a lot quicker. I like to listen to podcasts because you don't know what they're going to mention, and the distraction you get from it makes time actually fly by. And one of the main things that you need to remember when you're running is to have it all planned out. So have set days and times and stick to it. Now, there are plenty of other apps out there that you can follow. The Couch to 5K is a very, very good example. But with this principles of approach to training that I've displayed in this video, within a couple of months, you could go from where you are right now to completing a 5K. I can guarantee that. That feeling of accomplishment that you're going to get from doing something that you probably didn't ever think was possible is nothing can replicate that. And it might just give you that little urge to go on and push to another level. If you could like and subscribe, that would be great, because I'm trying to put more videos out like this that help take beginners to completing challenges that they never thought was possible. And if you've got any comments or any questions about how this applies to you, then just drop it in the comments section below and I'll get an answer to you.